This Uber driver listens to too many Top G's podcasts and gets so much motivation. So he hits the gym, hits the Santa, hits the girlfriend, joins the Top G clan, does the rituals. Oops! What in the F? Something should have gone wrong in his masculinity journey. Let's find out. The movie starts with a woman breastfeeding a baby and her Uber driver, Ralphie, who's our main simp of the day, watches her from the rear view mirror like a total creep. She notices him watching her and tells him to stop the car, which he does, and he gets out calling him an asshole. Then we see Ralphie driving another customer as he moves past a construction base. He ends up going to the gym after that. In the gym, Ralphie seems to be having a good workout and making lots of steam and gets praised by the other gym members, although he skipped his leg day again. That's what simps do. Then he goes to the gym locker and starts taking shirtless picture to boost his simp's confidence. Next, we see Ralphie picking up his pregnant girlfriend, Sal, from work. I guess it was unwanted, or the condom had leakage.
I don't want kids. I think you are the most miserable, stupid in the world.
Anyway, she complains that he took so long to get here, and she also complains about her boss forcing her to smile more at work. Ralphie tells Sal to stop complaining like a bitch and smile the hell more because the job pays well, perhaps better than Ubering around. They head to a supermarket and Ralphie and Sal pose for a lot of screens. Next, they head to a shopping aisle and start purchasing baby things. Ralphie finds a breast pump and he's very interested in it. I guess he plans to milk his girlfriend. Then he jokes about using the breast pump on Sal. They get to the cashier and their bill is about $285, which Ralphie, our Uber driver, isn't too happy about. Next, we see Ralphie getting directions from the GPS, and he's not too happy about that too. I guess he's not happy at all. He goes to the gym once more and he's working out. A rather ripped dude walks past him and stares at him as he starts working out. After he's done, Ralphie follows him into the locker and starts staring at him from a distance. Seems like Ralphie's seeking some inspiration to make his muscles bigger. Maybe put some baby oil on it too to make him pop. Then we find Ralphie in the car with his friend Jason. And Jason sells him some drugs like Percocet and then offers him a pair of sneakers. But Ralphie says he has no money right now. Turns out Ralphie recently got laid off from work and he's looking for some more work. Jason mentions that if Ralph is short on cash, he can introduce him to a group of G's who help him get back on his feet. Ralph is like, "You mean Andrew Tate, the top G?" And Jason is like, "Sure the hell I do." We cut to the car once more and Ralph is waiting for Sal to arrive while a husky Santa rings bells outside the car. Then Santa suddenly, bam, showing him his jingle bell. "Are you like me now, huh? I sure made your spirit bright." Ralphie gets out of the car and attempts to confront the Santa, and Sal comes out and he decides not to. Cool it down, bro. They drive home and Sal and Ralphie do a little love making, but Ralphie doesn't seem to be into it. What's wrong with you, my man? She's all over you.
If you've decided that the type of sex you want to have will prevent you from procreating, that's your decision.
Sal rolls off of him and asks him, "Where did you go?" He says, "Nowhere." Sims cannot keep the girl. Never. Anyway, she tells him that she visited the doctor and she's been required to carry out some tests. Ralphie gets scared because tests are so expensive. She tells him that she got scared of having the baby in the middle of the doctor's office and if he still wants to have the baby. Ralphie doesn't answer. Of course, very complicated question. In the next scene, Ralphie meets up with the top G Club members. There's this dude called Dan, or better to say, Top D, who is like the leader of the group and the Top G's authorized branch in the whole New York. They all welcome him, but the vibe is a little off for Ralphie. They keep asking him a lot of questions, like, "Do you have people depending on you?" And he tells about the Sal and the baby and how he's keeping his options open. They have a salute and we cut to Ralph in his car as he rushes a chocolate bar. Dan meets up with him outside and tells Ralph that he looks like no one ever showed up for him and he tells him that he's not alone. Then we find Ralphie having a dream about Woods. Sal wakes him up and comforts him, but they get into a little fight about the Christmas tree. No money, no fun. In the next scene, he's at the gym bathroom, where a bunch of naked dudes hop into the shower with him. Ralph seems to be uncomfortable with that, so he leaves the bathroom. Then he sees the ripped dude from the earlier staring at him. He meets up with Jason, who hands him the pair of sneakers and tells him that the guy from the last night paid for it, thanks to the top G. Ralphie joins the group in what seems like a meeting, and in the meeting, Dan is referred to as Top D, while everyone else adds Son to their name. And then they start sharing information about themselves. Turns out all the guys in the room could escape the Matrix by keeping the comm in the balls for too long, and it's kinda their thing. I guess they need the post-nut clarity to see it clearly. Ralphie is taken aback, but he does his best not to show it. The scene shifts to after the meeting, where a bunch of guys are talking about taking your power and not caring about the woman. Ralphie just wanders around, steals an apple for some reason, and then goes up the stairs and finds the Top D's office. In the drawer, he finds a gun, and he starts playing with it. Top D sees him and tells him it's a G17 original Glock, and he advises Ralphie to get a gun because it's not safe to Ubering around without any protection. Then he starts talking to Ralphie about the group and how they are like a family and how the family helps all the guys here. And then in a very weird fashion, he puts his hand on Ralphie's chest and tells Ralph that he could be a part of their family. Next, we find Ralphie carrying a child as an Uber. The kid is on the phone with his mom, and he says that he doesn't want to stay at his friend's place because he vets himself spontaneously. After the call, Ralphie gives the boy some red pill advice and tells to man the F up and tie a knot around his penis and stop the shame for God's sake.
I will program my child with my worldviews. I raise them. I pay for them. They're my kid. They're not your kid.
At the destination, the kid leaves the car but forgets his phone. When Ralphie notices, he loots the phone and sells it for some cash. Back at home with Sal, he puts a bunch of tape around his face. I don't know why. And then he gives the Sal the money he got from selling the phone. She's surprised at how he got that much of money. He tells her the truth, since now he got the balls, and he's part of the G Club. But she's pissed off and they fight. In the next scene, we see Ralphie at the meeting with the G's. And they have this cool mantra that they say during their proceedings, which Ralphie kinda likes it. Top D burns a bunch of incense and tells Ralphie to come into the circle, and everyone holds him down. He asks Ralphie a bunch of personal questions which prompts him to have a mental breakdown. And a poor dude starts screaming about how angry he is. After that, Ralphie picks up a bunch of wood and one of the sons tells Ralphie to dump Sal. Ralphie is weirdly quiet about that. He meets up with the other members of the group and they praise Ralphie for his bravery and stuff. Ralphie is back at the gym again with balls that can't fit anymore in his pants. And at this moment, that ripped dude and his buddies meet up with the head of the gym and asks her to change the heavy metal song to some kind of weird K-pop song. The other gym members are pissed off by this, and Ralphie goes to confront the guys, and the ripped guy is being cool and stuff, which freaks Ralphie out, and he pushes him, to which the ripped dude just laughs. I mean, he's too jacked to care. Ralphie later breaks a mirror in the gym locker, and afterward, he follows the ripped dude to where he works. Turns out, it's at that construction site from the beginning that we already saw. Next, we see Ralphie outside a nightclub, and he picks up two guys who turns out to be gay, and they start kissing inside the vehicle. Ralphie is not pleased by that after all the red pills that he took. So he stopped the car, the dudes get angry about it, so Ralphie takes some more red pills. By the way, they are white. And starts driving at a crazy speed, with the guys screaming in the back. Don't overdose on the red pills, my dude. You're gonna kill yourself and the people. Anyway,
They're gonna sit there and go, you know what? I'm a feminist. You can't tell me what to do.
the scene cuts to him in bed with Sal. They haven't had any sex for a while now, and she tells him that she's letting go of all the pain in her belly and that soon he's not going to recognize her. Then we see Ralphie at the clothing store trying out a Ralph Lauren shirt. That's like $200. Top D offers to pay for it. But Ralphie is stubborn, says he got it and pays for the shirt, but feel the pain in his ass. All the guys move through a mall. They get approached by a lady who recognizes one of them, and she starts getting emotional because the dude left her. The guys excuse them as they start arguing. And suddenly Raph has a panic attack because he spent too much money on the shirt and now he's really feel the pain in his ass. Top D gives him a pep talk and tells him to get his shit together.
I need money now.
And then we cut to Ralphie in a bathroom where he sees a guy wearing a cowboy hat. For some reason, he just assaults the poor guy and they get into a fight. Dude has so much pent up rage from not clapping chicks, I guess. Then his ball starts to grow even bigger. He starts to ignore calls from Sal. He eyeballs the guy at the gym. He even takes a baseball bat at some point and beats the shit out of Santa from earlier. How do you like me now, old turd? In the next scene, he's back home with Sal when she's doing a bunch of exercises, pregnancy yoga. He goes and turns off the TV, kisses her like they're about to clap some chicks, and then suddenly leaves her hanging. She's mad as she watches him put on some cologne in an attempt to leave because she thinks that our dude has another date. So they have a serious fight and he locks her in a room. He then moves in with the guys at Top D's house and they fully induct him into the cult of the Manodrome by giving him a hot tat. Then he goes and parties with the boys and has a good time. Top D even gives him the G17 Glock with the loaded magazine as a gift. Guess Christmas came early this year for Ralphie. And Ralphie tells him that his dad left him as a child on Christmas Day, which is why he hates Christmas and especially the Santa Claus. Top D tries to do some more programming on the dude and Ralphie suddenly, bam, punches him and runs out of the house. I'm sure he didn't see that coming. But if you look closer, the nose tells that he gets it a lot. He then meets the ripped dude back at the gym and follows him to the construction site to beat the shit out of dude. But the tension is so high and the dude is so tight and jacked that he can't let go of his hard chocolate bar. But after tasting the cream, Ralph suddenly shoots the ripped dude. Guess who didn't like milky chocolate, huh? Then he steals his car and pawns all of dude's possessions. He meets up with Sal at the hospital just when she has their child, whom he names Jace. He builds a crib for Jace and he and Sal sing to him. One evening, when Ralphie comes back with groceries, he finds a note from Sal saying, "Forgive me." She ran away and left Jace with the neighbors.
She's unhappy with you and you'll never be able to please her. She's widowed forever. It's done.
She outsmarted RG. Ralphie is distraught and kind of destroys his house too. On the TV, it shows that he's wanted for questioning. Ralph takes the baby and meets up with the group. Top D surprisingly is still welcoming and all, but it turns out that the Matrix came looking for Ralph at the home. Perhaps Top D double-crossed G. He pulls out the gun and holds up everyone at gunpoint. Top D is still all encouraging, and then Ralphie leads the group on their cool mantra. Then he shoots Top D, and he shoots the police officer too and goes on the run. He drives around for some time and ends up in an old folks' home. He goes into the kitchen and steals some food. An elderly mega male nurse sees him and offers to help him. Ralph is kind of surprised by how big he is, so tries to kill himself, but he's run out of bullets. But the mega male surprisingly gives him a change of clothes and some food to eat, and then tells him a story of how his dad saved his life. Ralphie listens to the story and lies on the chest of the man like a baby G. But looks like Mega Male Nurse double-crossed our G. The police come to take our baby G to jail, where he's gonna keep the soap so tight in his hand to make sure it won't drop. Subscribe for more and come back for more clapping.